that took us places, remember the style that made us smile, loving you since '62.
Hello, I'm Belinda Burrows and welcome to our anniversary. For 40 years, Win Television Toowoomba has been entertaining the people of the Downs. In that time, we have become an integral part of the area, sharing in both the good times and the bad. Together, we've seen flood and drought, political unrest, human depravity and heartache of all kinds. But so too have we witnessed festivals and celebrations, winners, births, generosity and the triumph of the human spirit. Over the next half an hour, we'll relive some of the moments that have become milestones in the history of both this station and the Darling Downs. 1962, the rock and roll era was going strong, skirts were full and no lady would be seen out without gloves and a hat. On Friday, the 13th of July 1962, DDQ Channel 10 became the first provincial television station to begin transmission in Queensland. A variety of programs were broadcast, including first-release movies and live local content such as the Channel 10 Juniors and a half-hour combined national and local news. The catch cry of the time was, for the best thing in view, turn to DDQ. However, the acceptance of the station was split between city and country.
The Toowoomba people were used to the city television and they were slow to change.
Country people, well, they couldn't get enough of us, but the city people didn't want to know us.
Well, I think that television has been a real good thing. It's really beautiful to be able to relax and watch it, and I think Channel 10 has been very good and it's made a terrible lot of difference to the district.
What are your favourite programs?
Oh, I like the westerns, mate. It's plenty of action.
At the end of 1963, DDQ started taking national news on relay from Channel 9 Brisbane. The procedure up until then was to send film from Brisbane to Toowoomba via bus. At this time, there were 32 permanent staff. Take note of the young fellow to the right of the screen. This trainee cameraman would go on to become one of Australia's premier journalists. Late in 1963, DDQ was granted a licence to transmit to the Southern Downs and Granite Belt. However, it wasn't until 1966 that SDQ Channel 4 began transmission.
And now I take the opportunity of saying congratulations to each of you who has the opportunity tonight for the first time of viewing Channel 4, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to declare this station officially open.
In January 1967, DDQ-SDQ purchased their first videotape machine for the princely sum of $18,000. It was believed to be one of the few to be owned by a provincial television station. That year, the station achieved another milestone, the first videotaped outside broadcast in Australia. The 1967 Carnival of Flowers was recorded and replayed that night. Even as late as 1969, DDQ had the only mobile videotaping unit of its type in Australia. As the new decade approached, fashions took on a bright new look.
Now, the limey green colours, and this is a year for exciting bright colours and all the pastel colours that you can think of.
We're going to have the bright tangerines, the reds, the oranges, the lemons.
1970 saw the introduction of a new television station. In April, Channel 5 Toowoomba went on the air. 1970 was a busy year for the station, with approximately 80 outside broadcasts undertaken. Also that year, the first shipment of colour equipment arrived. This was in line with management's commitment to start broadcasting in colour on C-Day, March 1st, 1975. Continuing with this commitment, the first colour transmitters in Australia were installed at Mount Mobilin in the Bunya Mountains in 1973. 1975 and C-Day finally arrived. From the 1st of March, channels 1045 began telecasting in colour.
We went from a black and white newscast to a full color cast, so we had to have all the sets changed and
News presenters had to start thinking about what they were going to wear, and all of those sorts of things were fun issues to deal with.
In 1976, we again beat our metropolitan cousins by becoming the first station in Australia to use electronic news gathering. This proved so successful that many capital city stations began using the technology after seeing it in use firsthand. 1977 saw another change to our call sign, with Channel 5 becoming 5A due to a frequency reallocation for FM radio. As another decade draws to a close, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll have a look at those moments that made the next 20 years so memorable.